Hey, hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chris. Every day I'm doing a vlog, and I'm doing one for 1,000 days, guys. Yep, 1,000 days. So if you're not subscribed, a subscribe would be awesome. So thank you so much. Every day, like I said, I talk about something different. So today, I'm basically going to talk about being lost in a relationship. Is it the real failure? So I think what it is when you're in a relationship with somebody, this relationship can sort of diminish over time. It's an incremental thing, isn't it? Step by step by step, and before you know it, you're no longer a foot away from them, you're a mile away from them. And there's distance. And bridging that distance sometimes can be a real challenge in itself. How do you get past that? How do you get back to where you were? Well, I think it's going to take both of you. There's going to take a mutual sort of approach to a relationship where you both want and need that relationship. It's a difficult prospect. So let me start from the beginning then. It might begin with something small where you don't feel the need to share something again. You might not confide in that person. You might not tell them exactly everything that you're feeling at the moment. It may be something that you don't feel able to talk to them with. And that tiny little gap can be amplified. And it doesn't turn into a big cavernous gap right away. It's something that I think the crack widens over time. And how do you sort of recognize that and do something about it? Well, I think from my own experience is that when you feel the gap, it's invariably because, I guess this might be a masculine point of view, but if you don't feel that you're loved or supported or needed or wanted, it's easier to step back away, and that crack is easier to get bigger. Because you're not feeling the connection, you're not feeling that they want that connection. I'm quite a demonstrative person. I like somebody touching me in my arm or my face or whatever and saying, hi, how are you today? How are things? Feeling like they've got a vested interest in me. And that's what it's about, isn't it? It's being demonstrative and telling that certain person, that special person, how are you? How are things? What's going on in your life? Is there anything I can do to help? And also, it's that knowing that somebody is there for you. And very often, it's not what they do; it's what they don't do. So they don't have those continued chats with you, those check-ins, those conversations where you feel supported, and they don't make you feel that you can do the same, and you end up drifting, and you drift so far apart that it's hard to come back from it, and it takes a willingness for both of you to repair that, to get back to occupy that space together. Drifting, being away from each other, doing that separate thing, then almost becomes a pattern. You get used to going out and doing your own thing. You get used to seeing your other friends and experiencing other experiences. They go out and do their thing, or they stay in and do their thing, whatever it is their thing is. And that is how things sort of sit. Now, most couples, after a while, will probably say, actually, do you know what? We're just so comfortable around each other. We're used to doing things separately, but we're used to doing things together. But it's when you don't do that together thing is when I think there is an issue. So you've got to say, what is the point of this relationship? I've heard many times throughout my life that people say, oh, it just feels like we're brother and sister, or we're sharing a house together, we're lodgers, we're just together. And maybe if you've got that, maybe you're missing out on something that's special somewhere else, that you could have a life that is fulfilled in the way that you need it to be fulfilled. Or it could well mean that the life that you're after might be the life just you on your own, doing your own independent thing, not having to worry about that kind of issue. So it starts with the cracks, doesn't it? It really does. And I think if you recognize the fact that you have that crack in your relationship, it's challenging, because you, like I say, it's got to be that the other person wants that. And you can feel lost in a relationship. You really can. You can feel very much on your own. You can feel almost that you're independent, and that can make it easier for you to go solo, to go on your own, to do your own thing. That's a feeling which is uncomfortable, because you know the inevitable outcome. The writing is on the wall. It's going to end, and it will end, and you will go off and do the thing that you probably should have done a long time ago. As human beings, we tend to sit with comfort, with security, until we can't sit with it anymore, until we move on and do our own thing. I've had to say goodbye to a relationship last year, and in making that choice to do that, it's given me my peace and my life back, and so I'm grateful for that. I'm glad I made that decision. And knowing that that decision was the right decision, it was made easier by the fact that it was just easy to reach that decision to do that. There may be things sometimes when you get those cracks in a relationship that makes it easier for you to walk away from, because you don't want to be subjected to the behaviours or the verbalization or the approach that the other person is offering you. And that's probably why most people sort of seek peace in their life and gravitate towards that. But the feeling of loneliness that can overtake you in a relationship when that crack becomes a massive divide, because you're no longer a unit, you're no longer together. You feel that everything you do is independently you and on you. You don't feel supported, cared for, loved, wanted, all those things. And all those things are so vitally important in any relationship. They really are. You've got to get that. You've got to have that. And each of us want it in varying degrees. What one person might like, the next person might not like that kind of sort of interaction. And is it a failure? I once had a conversation with somebody. They held on to a relationship probably far longer than they should have done, but they did it out of blind love for that person. And they held on because they just saw divorce or separation as being a failure. And I don't look at it like that. I don't think that you can look at a divorce or a separation as failure. I think sometimes you should view it as a necessity to getting your life back, getting your peace back, getting your happiness, your joy, your contentment. All these things are so important to us as human beings. If we don't have that, if we don't get it back, life is so difficult. It's an uphill struggle. We're constantly carrying heavy bags, walking up a hill. We can't live like that. We really can't. We've got to enjoy our lives, and we've got to say, actually, there's a lot of peace when you're on your own, putting your head on the pillow. And whilst you may not wake up to somebody the following morning, well, guess what? You're not waking up to toxic behaviour. You're not waking up to the verbal arguments. And going back to the original sort of perspective of this video, being lost in a relationship is a failure to a degree on both parts. Not one person occupies the space. Not one person owns that space. It takes two to be in a relationship. It takes two to probably walk away from one. So I would say if that is something that resonates with somebody today, then hopefully you'll get something from that, and whether it makes you think I'm going to glue the relationship together and repair it and work on it, or call it a day. That's entirely your call. But either pathway, it's not going to be easy. If you want to stay and repair things and make things better, and you believe that's the right course, then more power to you. Absolutely. It's got to be a joint, mutual approach. But you know, if you have to call time on it, don't think of it as a failure. Don't think of it as a, you know, you're giving not only you but the other person the opportunity to live a more restful life, more joyful time, and get the experiences that they need to get from life. So I just thought I'd share that with you today, because I just think it's important to talk about that. People talk about love, don't they? Getting married and getting into relationships, but there's a lot to be said for being on your own sometimes, having your own space, doing your own thing. Really is testament to who you are as a person. Being independent, being strong sometimes is not a bad thing, but also knowing that, you know, when you have a relationship that is failing, and that slow continental drift away from each other, you know, you have options. You do. You can either stay and repair it, or if the divide has become too big, then yeah, and you are feeling lost in that relationship, then it's probably important to call time on it. And that's my video for today, guys. So thank you so much for stopping by and listening. I really appreciate you. I'll be back again tomorrow with something uniquely different, and hopefully the weather will improve. And if you're not subscribed, to subscribe will be awesome. And I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye now.